Alright, this will be a large recording of the words per minute exercise you gave out to those of us who were fast talkers or slow talkers. I myself, if you've not noticed, am a fast talker. When doing, after our out-of-class meeting, I clocked myself at around 200 words per minute in regular speaking and reading, so this will be very tough. I'll start with the slow rate of 120 and 140 words per minute. For sad subject matter, and I have a basic iPhone stopwatch as my timer. For the second time in the lives of most of us, we are at war. Over and over again, we have tried to find a peaceful way out of the differences between... For the second time in the lives of most of us, we are at war. Over and over again, we have tried to find a peaceful way out of the differences between ourselves and those who are now our enemies. But it has been in vain. We have been forced into a conflict, for we are called, with our allies, to meet the challenge of a principle which, if it were to prevail, would be fatal to any civilized order in the world. Such a principle, stripped of all disguise, is surely the mere primitive doctrine that might is right. For the sake of all that we ourselves hold dear, and of the world's order and peace, it is unthinkable that we should refuse to meet the challenge. Alright, that one's complete. I was about a second off on the final 1 minute mark, less than a second, but I noticed with that one way that I might be like somehow cheating is I add a lot of more pausing in between sentences to help fill up time, in that I find trouble finding a good form of speech and trying to read that slow. Sad or not, I find it difficult to not use pauses to add time. Instead of trying to read the sentence at a much slower pace. For the fast rate, this is 180 to 200 words per minute for humor, elation, excitement, fear, anger. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good, and when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, or like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Okay, nope, around 12 seconds on that one. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Alright, that one was closer. I got up around a second and a half closer to it. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. I was around 25 seconds at that point. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits. And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Right, for that last one, I was around 3 seconds short. Starting back from but you gotta. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. but until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. That one was exactly perfect. Alright, now moving on to the conversational rate of 140 to 160, the large 3-minute portion. Okay. How to ace interview questions. Interviews can be daunting endeavors, in which you might feel you're being interrogated rather than interviewed. The pressure, stress, and anxiety that often accompany an interview can also have a strong impact on how well you conduct yourself. If you sometimes grapple to find an answer to standard interview question, you need to practice more on the best way to answer these questions. The following suggestions will help you ace interview questions. Research the company. Before your interview, research the prospective employer's history, products, services, and culture. The knowledge will help you articulate how your professional experiences and skills can be applied to the company's business interests. More specifically, how you can make a positive impact at the company. By knowing the important issues of the prospective employer, you demonstrate to the interviewer your familiarity with the employer and its inherent challenges. This familiarity will give you a strong competitive edge during the interview process. Direct your answers. Regardless of what is being asked, always direct your answers to the message you want to convey. When asked a question, provide a concise answer as well as an additional selling point from your resume. Right, for that one, I was not quite under the limit, so we'll go back to this familiarity. This familiarity will give you a strong competitive edge during the interview process. Direct your answers. Regardless of what is being asked, always direct your answers to the message that you want to convey. When asked a question, provide a concise answer as well as an additional selling point from your resume. For example, if a prospective employer asks you why you're interested in the position, explain what attracted you to the position as well as the reasons why you are an ideal fit for the opportunity. Remember to keep your answers concise. For more anecdotal questions, such as provide an example of a challenge you faced, be sure to have a few brief, not quite on that one, going back to as well as the reasons why you're an ideal fit for the opportunity. Remember to keep your answers concise. For more anecdotal questions, such as provide an example of a challenge you faced, be sure to have a few brief stories prepared that can be used to illustrate various skill sets, such as time management, crisis management, creative problem solving, and entrepreneurialism. By having several stories prepared, you can answer these types of questions. Be sure to add to your interview question a top selling point from your resume and how your experiences can add up to potential value for a prospective employer. Disguising weaknesses. Some classic interview questions ask you to describe your weaknesses. Ironically, here is another opportunity to discuss some of your strengths. Talk about lessons you have learned from making mistakes. By demonstrating your ability to grow out of your weaknesses and how these experiences helped you make a positive impact on a company, you continue to stress your value to any employer. You can ace any question by researching a company, by articulating your message of how you'll make a positive impact, and illustrating, to about 5 seconds short on that one, going back to helped you make, and how these experiences helped you make a positive impact on a company. You continue to stress your value to any employer. Disguising weaknesses. Some classic interview questions ask you to describe your weaknesses. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That was incorrect. I started from the wrong paragraph. Again, starting from, and how these experiences helped you make. And how these experiences helped you make a positive impact on a company. You continue to stress your value to any employer. You can ace any question by researching a company, by articulating your message of how you'll make a positive impact and illustrating how you have used your skills and knowledge to affect positive change. Okay, that one was incorrect. Oh, there's more, I apologize. Starting from the 2:45 mark. And illustrating how you've used your skills and knowledge to affect positive change. Rose Curtis is a certified professional resume writer and co-author of Resume.com's Guide to Writing Unbeatable Resumes. Her expertise includes job application tactics and interview strategies. For the first time, I went too long, of about 3 seconds, so I will go back to the 2:45 mark again. And illustrating how you have used your skills and knowledge to effect positive change. Rose Curtis is a certified professional resume writer and co-author of Resume.com's Guide to Writing Unbeatable Resumes. Her expertise includes job application tactics and interview strategies. Alright, and that last one was correct. In terms of this assignment, for my, I had the most trouble with slow rate, and that I have extreme difficulty even just figuring out how to make the sentence flow, because I just want it to be faster. I can make the words come out faster, so I want to. But even still, the fast rate still feels a little slow to me. My natural speaking rate is even a little bit higher than between 180 and 200 and over 200, because I have the ability to, so I just simply try and push my message as fast as possible, as I do even in explaining this. It also means that in the conversational rate of 140 to 160, oftentimes when I have a problem, it is because I'm cutting it off and going too quickly, and that also affects my flow, and that I have trouble having a strong flow, and that I get caught up on it. Thank you.